Joining me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So Nicole's going to be virtual tonight, so she's up there. And then Lucinda will be coming on or not? We don't know.
I believe that's her intention.
Okay, so Lucinda's intending on also attending virtually. So the first item on the agenda this evening is public comments. So this would be the time that if someone has a comment to come forth and give us your name and where you reside and your comment. Preferably it's not on the agenda already. Any public comments by anybody? Seeing no one that would like to speak to public comments, we'll move on to consent calendar. Council, how would you like to proceed on the consent calendar?
Make the motion that we approve the consent calendar as presented.
Second. Moved.
Second.
And was it seconded?
Second.
And seconded. I apologize, getting a little bit ahead of the council. To approve the consent calendar submitted. I just want to bring to attention to everyone that D is the Community Development Block Grant, and it's for $400,000. And also, Roger, if I read that correctly, there's another $100,000 that's potentially available also under the grant?
Correct. And approving that will just allow the Community Development Administrator to sign on our behalf on the various projects. We have to actually sign off on every project, no matter if it's in Reedsport, in the county, or within Coos.
But this is mainly for neighborhood works that we're working with, and this is for housing projects, correct?
That is correct. It's for doing repairs on existing homes that are in pretty bad shape.
Good. All right. Any other comments on the consent calendar, anyone? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it passes. Also, the presentation for retirement plaque for Police Captain Cal Mitz, it will not be this evening. We're going to have that at another meeting down the road. Consideration, number 5, consideration and approval of financing agreement with Amoresco for the street light upgrade project. Nicole?
Thank you. This is kind of the culmination of a number of months of discussions and some analysis done by Amoresco. We've come to some terms that would help us finance this project. As you guys know, we are going to be upgrading the streetlights within the city of Coos Bay, many of which are actually owned by Pacific Power, and we will be getting some reduced rates, so there'll be some savings just from a new rate schedule they've released, but also from the change out of all of these lights. Within the packet, there's some great charts in there that talks about the numbers of lights that we're going to be replacing and the energy savings. I think one of the most amazing things, if you got that far through there, is the savings of over 734,000 kilowatt hours. And that's not something that I know what that means, but it's been told to me that that's enough energy to support neighborhoods. So we're making a huge difference in the environment and our footprint and all of those things that we should be conscious of in today's world. So down to numbers, that's what we're here to talk about. The project itself is around $762,000 for the replacements. We originally were looking at a 15-year payback. We wanted to be able to do this in less than 15 years. And the numbers pencil out to actually be a 10-year payback, but we wanted to give a little bit of gap in there should something change. We also could use that gap for future projects if we save that up. So we looked at a term of repayment for 12 years. That's what we've worked out at 4.5% interest. That payment will be a little over $83,000 a year. We're expecting savings of around $100,000. So it's a great project. We're able to finance it. It's been a great experience so far with Amoresco. They've been really helpful and helped us find a way that we could afford to do this. So I think we have some representatives online. If you guys have any technical questions that maybe I can't answer.
Questions, anyone on this? I just got a comment. I think it's great. This is something that Phil and Rob, I think, were at League of Oregon Cities conference a couple of years ago and approached Amoresco, and now they're here and bringing us some new lights of LED, which is an energy saving to the community, and brand new facilities, lights, and then savings to us also. So that's great. The thing is, the 4.5% is a set rate for the 12 years?
Yes.
Okay. So council, unless there's any other comments, how would you like to proceed?
Sorry, I should say one more thing in case anyone was interested. I do have the timeline as far as replacement. We're looking potentially being finished up with this September, October.
Yeah, I saw that. That's great. Phil, Rob, you want to say anything? I just want to thank you for bringing it to our attention.
I'd like to make a quick comment. These lights, as I understand it, these LED lights also are rated so that the light illuminates down and it doesn't, none of it escapes into the sky. I can't remember
Correct.
what the term is.
Dark sky compliant.
Dark sky compliant, there you go. So that they have a better focus. And also the way these things are built, they have the ability to add on options later if you want to use them for other things. They can connect to a network grid and be controlled that way. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a great addition to our city.
In addition, I believe they also illuminate the area, improve illumination for the area too, so.
Yeah, their proposal, if I'm not mistaken, Roger, their proposal is different wattages for different areas.
Correct.
Commercial would be a little brighter than residential and that sort of thing. And we did get a rate structure worked out with PP&L, is that right?
Yeah, we
Yes.
actually, PP&L received approval for their rate structure or restructure from the Utilities Commission, Public Utilities.
Perfect.
And I think that's what we were waiting on, is to get those final numbers in order to find out if this would pencil out or not.
It actually saves us more than I thought it would.
It does.
And can I add one more thing? Sorry. We potentially also might be looking at a energy tax credit. That's kind of unknown at this point how much. We're maybe guessing in the $20,000 range. So there's that additional benefit.
We only get that once?
Yes.
That's too bad.
Not in perpetuity.
All right. I thought it might be annual, monthly, whoever knows, right?
No, but getting it once is better than not at all.
Absolutely.
I was just going to say that I really appreciate the initial look into this from our counselors at the League of Oregon City and our city manager, as well as the work the staff did on this. Anytime that we can get that kind of return on an investment that is going to improve, I'm all for that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so council, how would you like to proceed for this agreement with Amoresco?
I'd like to make the motion that we approve the financing agreement with Amoresco and authorize the city manager to sign the agreement on behalf of the city of Coos Bay.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the finance agreement with Amoresco. Any other comments? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it passes. Okay, next item. So consideration of approval to perform utility upgrade during night hours, Roger?
Yes. I'm going to do this for Randy and Jim. So currently, Charter Communications is going to be doing some work installing fiber along Highway 101. Per their agreement with ODOT, they're required to do all that work at night, and the theory is that so that if they're working at night, they won't cause traffic congestion during the day. So they have that authority. We don't have authority to regulate ODOT's right-of-ways. But within this project, they are going to be doing work on 2 streets that are within our jurisdiction and outside the jurisdiction of ODOT, and that is Kingwood and Commercial Avenue down by 101. So technically, they do need to get the council's permission to do nighttime work hours. This is in a commercial zone, and I think it would be appropriate. It's almost impossible if you didn't approve it, because then they can't get their project done. And ultimately, this will be for the benefit of our community.
Council, how would you like to proceed?
I move we authorize Public Works Department to issue a one-time night hours right-of-way permit to Charter Spectrum for Kingwood Avenue and Commercial Avenue for a fiber install.
Second. Been moved and seconded to approve to allow the utility upgrade during night hours for Spectrum and Charter Spectrum. Any other comments? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it passes. Next item is the adoption of fiscal year 2020 to 2021 supplemental budget. We'll have a public hearing on this, but Nicole, you want to give us a little bit of a synopsis or what it's about so everyone would know? Please.
Yes, thank you. So as you know, we, from time to time throughout the year, need to do a supplemental budget for items that occur that were outside of our expectation when we originally adopted the budget. This go around, and in the past, same, grants usually are what causes a supplemental budget. So we do have some fire grants that we've received. We also have the CARES funding. We are going to ask that we appropriate some of that funding we've received already to give us that authority for those appropriations for PPE and the additional cleaning that we've had to do in the various facilities throughout the city. Additionally, we, as you guys might know, we just completed the gift card program. So that was a pretty big success. The city was the financial overseer of that program, so those are on the city's books. So we had to record the revenue and obviously the expenses. So we want to make sure we have the authority to do so. And then the last item in the rainy day fund, earlier we refinanced the general obligation bonds, which were used to pay for the construction of the fire department, Fire Station 1. And we looked at refinancing those this year. We know we had a significant savings in doing so. But what happened with that is we are going to end up with two payments. So we made a payment when we closed, and then we'll have our regular payment due in June. The way we budgeted the GO bond fund, we don't have access to any more dollars right off because we have that in unappropriated amount, which is untouchable in the current year. So we're going to pay that second payment with a short-term interfund loan from the rainy day fund and repay that back on July 1st. We do already have authority to do short-term interfund loans. We ask for that at the beginning of each fiscal year. This is kind of just a housekeeping thing, but just to let you know that it's there. And that's essentially it for this supplemental budget.
Okay. Council, any questions for Nicole before I open the public hearing?
I have a question. Under Urban Renewal Administration, Department 121, are you adding a position, or what is the salaries there?
Let me look and see.
I believe
We
that-
did some allocations because of the project, some changes in staff allocation. So no new positions, just a review of staff time. And because we do have significant projects happening in the downtown area, we reallocated people's time there.
That answer your question, Rob?
Yeah, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, at this time, I'll open the public hearing for adoption of fiscal year 2020-2021 supplemental budget. Would anyone like to make a comment? Seeing no one that would like to make a comment, I'll close the public hearing. And then, council, how would you like to move forward on the resolution for the supplemental budget?
I'll make the motion that we adopt Resolution 21-02 to approve a supplemental budget.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the fiscal year 2020-2021 supplemental budget. Any other comments? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it passes. Thank you. Okay, adoption of Resolution 21-03, approving an intergovernmental agreement, IGA, between the City of Coos Bay and Urban Renewal Agency for digital financing. Nicole?
Thank you. Each year, the Urban Renewal Agency does a du jour financing with the City of Coos Bay. As we know, Urban Renewal operates in a state of debt, so projects are completed by either going out and getting financing from a bank or by doing this du jour financing, so that the property taxes coming in are truly paying off that debt. So from year to year, depending on what outside financing we have, there is sometimes this gap of tax dollars coming in, and that's what du jour financing is for, is we take up that gap of dollars coming in order to pay debt service on them. So the city loans the Urban Renewal Agency dollars, and then the Urban Renewal Agency repays that within a few days. Du jour means it's, you know, one day of the day kind of thing. And we do interest, obviously pretty insignificant for just a 3-day period. This year, that gap of tax incremental funds is $1.3 million. 452,000 of that is Empire District, and 899,000 of that is downtown.
So what's the reasoning for this? Why do we do
So,
this? Pardon?
urban renewal agencies have to operate in debt, so that tax incremental financing can only be spent on debt. And right now, we don't have enough debt. We don't have enough projects out there that we went outside of, went to a bank to get financing for. So we wouldn't be able to spend these funds if we did not incur debt to do so. So we're creating a short-term loan, essentially, in order to do that.
In the past,
And
if I
it's-
remember correctly, we would have to go to a financial institution and do this, and it would cost us quite a bit more than it does now.
In the past, the other model that the city or the agencies utilized is they've gone out to a bank and they borrow, say, $6 to $10 million, and then they would work off that money for a number of years, but we would be paying debt service and interest on it. This model allows, it's a much easier process, but when you think about it, it also is a process that allows you to use more urban renewal dollars on projects versus using it on interest.
Right.
That's
So,
great.
comments or questions for Nicole or Roger, or anyone on this? Okay, so does the resolution include the IGA agreement also? Do I have to have two separate motions?
I think we just adopt the resolution which approves the intergovernmental agreement.
Okay. All right, council, how would you like to proceed?
I move we adopt Resolution 21-03 to approve an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Coos Bay and the Urban Renewal Agency of the City of Coos Bay, and authorize up to $1,352,889 in du jour financing budgeted to fund planned projects, of which $452,963 will be for the Empire District and $899,926 is for the Downtown District.
Second?
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to adopt Resolution 21-03 to approve an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Coos Bay and the Urban Renewal Agency. Are there any comments? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is approval of the Urban Renewal Agency Annual Financial Report for the fiscal year ended June 30, 2020. Nicole, what a surprise.
Thank you. So this is another housekeeping item, most of which is what we've done tonight. ORS requires that the Urban Renewal Agency issues a annual report, and it kind of just gives an overview of the Urban Renewal Agency in general, as well as all the projects that are currently in progress or have been authorized funding for. We also have to have some elements in there that talks about, some of our financial statement items, the effects that the Urban Renewal Agency has on the overlapping taxing district. All of these elements are part of ORS. We're given those guidelines. I'd like to say we've taken those guidelines and we've created a great report that shows all the wonderful projects that are happening in our area that are improving our area. And I think we've gone beyond what ORS expectations are. I don't know if anybody had an opportunity to kind of look through that. I know you've around town can see all of them, so it's nothing new to you, but to put it on paper, there's a lot going on. So we're just asking that if you are happy with what was presented to you, that you approve that. That report will then be sent out to all of the overlapping taxing districts. We'll do a notification in the paper, and it will also be available at City Hall for any citizens who are interested to review it.
Any questions for Nicole? All right, hearing none, how would you like to proceed?
I move that we approve the annual financial report for the fiscal year ending June 30th of 2020.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the annual financial report for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2020. Any other comments? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes. Thank you. Good job, Nicole. Roger, City Manager report.
Yes, to go along with what's happening in urban renewal, there's a lot happening in the other departments within the city. Staff is working feverishly with our consultant on the wastewater transfer. As we were told this morning by our consultant, we have 23 weeks to work on this before we take over on July 6th. So it'll be here before you know it. I'll be sending you a copy of the living document as it continues to grow, but it is quite detailed. But it'll be more detailed next week. As of next week, we start meeting weekly as we continue down this process. When I send you that, you'll see that there's Gantt charts on there and timelines and who's doing what. And it's very detailed. I have every confidence that we're going to be able to accomplish this on a timely manner. So, but I want to provide that to you to provide you that same level of confidence.
Great.
The homeless work group will be making its first scheduled meeting for this year next week on the 28th. They'll be meeting in here at noon. For those that can attend in person and for those that can't, we do have an online access as well for the members. It is a rather large group. So as to tonight, you might have heard that North Bend City Council is working on their goal setting. We're also moving forward. In my discussions with the mayor this morning, while we were pleased with our services that we received from our consultant 2 years ago, he believes, and I agree, that there is value in seeing what else a different consultant can bring us. So we're now looking at and getting recommendations from other cities on who they've used to help them through the process. I actually have my first meeting with a consultant on Friday, someone that has 15 years of municipal experience and far more than that in consulting. And I believe he's actually spoken at the League of Oregon Cities and at the Oregon City Managers Association.
Nice.
Trying to think of who it is now. Patrick Ibarra.
Oh, okay.
And then I believe you've all received the budget calendar. It just seems like we just completed the budget. We just started a new budget year. We've had an audit for last year, but nothing stands still in the finance department. So the budget calendar is out, and we are looking for our first scheduled meeting on April 22nd, I believe. I might have that wrong. It might be the 15th. The 15th?
15th?
Somehow that just seemed like a week late. But there is a lot happening. And I would also want to share that we have been working with Coos History Museum on the process to pick a consultant to assist with the design work for the plaza. We had our first meeting in reviewing those development proposals, and I believe we have at least 2 interviews this week with 2 of the firms that submitted proposals. All 3 of them are capable of doing the work. Now we just want to pick the one that will be best suited to meet the needs of both the city and the Coos History Museum. Very exciting.
This is just the design phase, right?
This will be, to get to the design phase, and then once that's done, the agency will have to look at, see what parts it wants to pick up, but the Coos History Museum will be looking at what parts they can go out for grants for.
But they need the design before they can go get the
They
grant.
really need that. That helps make it successful.
In the past, we've talked about our participation would be the boardwalk that would be discussed, that would tie in to Coos Bay Village in that area. So, I mean, that was some of the things we talked about, but I guess we're not limited to that, or we're not even obligated to it personally, but whatever
Correct.
the agency decides, so.
And I believe that the city or the agency will be doing the heavy lifting, at least as far as going after grants for the non-motorized kayak launch.
Anything else?
No, that concludes my report.
Wow, okay. That was a good report. Drew?
Yep, short and simple, just encourage everybody to be generally safe. I'm looking forward to the next homelessness work group, I shouldn't say that. I know we'll be doing some preparatory work this week, and then getting that ball moving again is very important, especially with the pressing matters that have been coming up recently related to emergency shelter and contingency planning if there is an outbreak amongst the homeless population. Optimistic that we'll be able to come up with something related to that in fairly short order. But broader point, everybody to just stay safe. The world is a crazy place right now, and I don't think there's ever been a better excuse to just stay home. So, yeah, that's what I got.
All right. Carmen?
First off, I'd like to thank Nicole Rutherford for all of her hard work and all of the great reports that we got today. Really thankful that we have such a great financial department. Really keeps us on track and keeps us financially solvent. So I was just thinking about that while you're giving your reports, how grateful I am for all your hard work. So I wanted to say thank you for that. And also looking over this urban renewal summary report, it was really cool to see how much has actually happened over the last year. So good job, and kudos to the people who are, stepping outside the box and trying to make things happen and improve our downtown area. We thank you for your investment, and let's hope that this next year, 2021, is full of moving that marker forward for our community as well. That's all I have.
Thanks. Phil?
Just a couple of things. I too express how grateful that I am with such a competent staff. They do such a fantastic job. It makes our work a lot easier and things go a lot smoother. And also to Drew's point, I think we moved into extreme this week or last week.
This week.
But I understand the numbers may be in our favor for the next 2 weeks. In 2 weeks is when they look at it again. Is that right?
Yeah, Monday they'll give you a kind of a synopsis or overlook, and then they'll make the final decision on Friday.
So I'm hoping we go back down so that the restaurants can open back up. That's a big deal for us. We have so many, and the program that the cities have been running with buying the cards and selling them, that's been huge. Lots of good things happening. We still have a lot of things we need to get done, but things are moving forward. Things are good.
They are. Stephanie?
Sure, so many things. I echo what my fellow counselors have to say about our staff. Really do appreciate and hope that people have a chance to take a look at that urban renewal financial report. It just feels like so much is happening when you look at that, and if you go around our community, you can really see it too. But there is so much more to what you can't see that's in that report, and it's a good breakdown of financially how that is working out, and the investment that is going back into our community. So I would encourage people to take a look at that. Also, I do share Drew's excitement for the first meeting in the new year of the homeless work group. Have we heard it back from members who will be attending? Are they?
We did get good responses, and I think we've only had a couple that want to attend virtually.
Okay. All right. But there is a lot of work that group will need to do, and so we're excited to get started on that. But I also agree that this is a good time to stay home. Just make sure you get your takeout before you head home. And don't forget the Operation Gift Card event, Show the Love, is this weekend on Saturday. They made that available to folks on Saturday who maybe couldn't be there during the week. So I'm sure Mr. Mayor will share more about that.
Sure.
And then finally, the Coos Bay Downtown Association is in the process of what would normally be their annual event where we report on things that are happening in downtown. Obviously, because of COVID-19, they have postponed that to a later time, but they are in the process of electing their board, and those ballots are due by the 21st. I would encourage people to get them in if they haven't by tomorrow. You can either do that electronically through the email, you have to be a member, or you were mailed a packet. They are also looking for volunteers for a variety of committees that they have. So even if you're not involved in the board or directly already with some of the events that happen and things that are happening, there are committees that are available for the general public to be involved in. Always something that we can use people, and I would encourage people to get a hold of Holly, our executive director, if they are interested in finding out some of those things that are available. And if you're interested in becoming a member of the Coos Bay Downtown Association, a lot of things are happening. It's very exciting for our community. It's very exciting to be up here representing our citizens, and that's pretty much what I have.
Thanks, Stephanie. Rob?
Well, Roger answered my question about goal setting, and the rest of the counselors took everything I would say, so I don't really have anything to add.
So making you last is good or bad? We'll reverse it next time. So I just want to follow up. Yes, Stephanie mentioned that we do have the gift certificate program. Show the Love is what is being touted as and called. It'll be this Saturday, opens at 9 o'clock. There'll be over 1,700 gift certificates this time. So we were able to participate with all the restaurants with 27 gift certificates for 71 restaurants throughout the Coos Bay, North Bend, and Charleston area. And so the ones that have been stepped up to the plate and made this possible, Save Coos Bay, of course, City of North Bend. You had the Wild Rivers Alliance, also SOWEB and TSOC. So those are the ones that stepped up and put some money up front. I haven't mentioned this to them, but so this will end this time. We're not going to keep any of the proceeds. It's all going into the program. And next year, I'm going to see if we can hit them up again and see if we can do it. So maybe in the spring or fall when I think it's necessary. We'll try it again. It was very successful and it's worked out well. So anyway, and I want to thank the finance department because all this fell on them. Twice they had to deal with that, cut the checks, get them out. And then the next thing I'm going to mention is the urban renewal, which how successful it's been, and you have mentioned a few of you. But also going around to the different restaurants, they ask, what can the city do to help? What can we participate and help besides this? And they were very thankful for this to begin with. Second of all, I told them that, the facade program. And some of them mentioned, some of the things that have happened. They mentioned Seven Devils, and I told them that's available to them. The other thing I don't know if they realize, and I think we need to try to get this out to them, is that the design can be paid for by the city of Coos Bay through the facade grant. And sometimes I think that people get afraid to how to move forward and how to design this. And if you explain to them that there's help out there for them, and there's a variety of different individuals through HGE and the Crow outfit architect and some others that can do this for them, then they're a little bit more eager to step forward. So I think we just need to kind of get that information out for them because it'll help them move forward. And the last thing I'd like to bring up is Mayor Engelke and the City of North Bend asked the City of Coos Bay to participate with them tonight on the national moment to memorialize the over 400,000 lives lost in COVID-19. Stephanie was there this evening, and it was a great event, and it was great that we were able to participate. Roger was there also, and so they're going to have, and this was going to be done nationally with other cities, and so it's really nice that they were able to get us all involved in this community. Melissa County Commissioner Cribbins was there also. And they're going to have the amber lights around City Hall of North Bend for 30 days, representing the COVID lives that have been lost. So anyway, it was a nice event. That's the end of my comments. And so we'll adjourn this meeting and go into the renewal that Stephanie will be taking over. Thank you.
All right, do we need a break before, or are we good to just carry on? All right, then I'll go ahead and call the meeting of the Coos Bay Urban Renewal Agency to order. And our first item on the agenda is public comments. Do we have any public comments? Sensing none, we'll move to item number 2, which is the consent calendar. And how would the agency like to proceed?
I'll make a motion to accept the consent calendar.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Stop mine. Mom,
Any further discussion? I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there. All right, call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3 is the adoption of Resolution 21-01, approving the intergovernmental agreement. Looks like I'm on the wrong agenda. Is that correct? This one is
No,
correct?
you
Yep,
are
you're
correct.
right. Okay.
You had to approve it as the lender in the council, and then as the receiver or repayer as the agency.
All right. Any questions for Roger? And how do you wish to proceed?
Move that we adopt Resolution 2101 to approve an IGA between the City of Coos Bay and the Urban Renewal Agency of the City of Coos Bay and authorize up to $1,352,889 in de jure financing budgeted to fund planned projects, of which $452,963 will be for the Empire District and $899,926 for the Downtown District.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second for the adoption of Resolution the Resolution 21-01, approving an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Coos Bay and the Urban Renewal Agency for du jour financing. All those any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. And now the Urban Renewal Agency will meet in executive session.
The Urban Renewal Agency will now meet in executive session pursuant to ORS 192.6602E for the purpose of discussing real property transactions.
Wrong agenda.
If the agency intends to come out of executive session to take final action, the presiding